Yeah, I appreciate that.
You had to add sub message. I don't know. I think we just fixed it actually. There might not have actually been audio.
Cause yeah, I didn't see that moving there.
Yeah, it wasn't moving. So we got to start the whole stream over. Yo, welcome to the Jump on Turtles podcast. I mean, no,
Yeah,
no, not the Jump on Turtles podcast.
factual.
Factual or practical podcast.
Yeah,
Um, a different channel. What's up, dude? How you doing? Um, yeah, thank you for lurking. We appreciate it. If you don't want to hang out, we got to talk about some serious stuff. We actually just started. We've only been on for like 10 minutes, and we only did like the PlayStation 5 reviews. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. We're talking about the new PS5 games. So there's a couple games that we wanted to look at. We're gonna look at this Kill Loop game first because Charlie wanted to definitely look at this. So let's look at this Kill Loop game
now this is made by Bethesda,
or
which is
Death Loop,
Deathloop.
made
Yep.
by Bethesda, who is Fallout.
Yeah, they do like Fallout and stuff like that.
Hello, Black Reef. Colt, my predecessor, has been pronounced
Juice
guilty
what's
of
up,
treason.
dude?
He is to be shot on
You
sight
just
of
got here.
airport
We're
and
we're reviewing some
Your
PS5
sentence is
games.
appreciated and mandatory. The real party doesn't start until he's dead.
This right here is
not
Deathloop,
making this easy.
made by Bethesda. You can tell by the aesthetics already that Bethesda made this.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a step up from. I mean, I noticed everything's a lot brighter. It's not as dark now,
Yeah. Yep.
which I think was a way of hiding like maybe. Now they have the power with it, so now you can really see stuff.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. This looks good right here. Not a Bethesda.
It's cold!
Hope you're ready to loot. Die already!
Oh,
Busted!
you got powers though. You got powers and oh shit, this is fucking Prince of Persia? This is Prince of Persia.
Good morning,
bro.
Black Reef. Another
It's a
day,
shooter
another
game.
death. Aren't time loops fun?
Okay, this is kind of hype.
For everyone else on this island,
Yeah, look
this
at
place
the-
is
look at the
paradise.
graphics.
A never-ending party where hunting me is the main
Yeah,
attraction.
They are a little violent.
And no matter how
So,
I try to
you know,
escape,
kids, it might not be
they
cool,
always
but
cut me down.
it looks really good. And
But I'm one
the
stubborn
mechanics are a
motherfucker.
lot. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Prince of Persia, where you just rewind yourself whenever you have magic or something to do it. And on top of that, you have magic. Like, I saw him blast that through his hands and stuff. Like,
Every
gives me
loop I'm
vibes-
learning a little more,
gives me like
piecing together the puzzle.
Jedi vibes too.
There's 8 targets, and they all gotta die before midnight.
It's pretty interesting. Um, yeah, it gives me like Star Wars vibes too, like
Mhm.
the powers, you know,
Yeah.
and then like the shooting and all that. That's that looks sick. There's a couple other games we want to look at. Let's go back to the trailer we were on.
Games that have been announced for the Xbox.
So some games that Abe's Odyssey was announced. What else got? Oh, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Confirmed that Valhalla
So this
will
is
be
like
a
a
launch
Viking
title for
version
the
of
PS5.
Assassin's Creed.
The Viking
Doesn't
Rific
seem as
installment
stealthy.
will introduce a new protagonist with their own massive adventure
I like
that's
that,
sure
actually.
to eat up dozens
Yeah,
of.
it's different.
Yeah, I don't really care about stealthy. There's a Gran Turismo 7, which if you want to learn how to drive, Gran Turismo is a good game. If you just care about how the graphics look, Gran Turismo is a good game.
I mean, it looks like it handles well. I was never really that good at those types of games, but I mean, you know, it has so many customization options just from what I saw in the whole trailer. Like,
Yeah,
you know, you could drive all over the world. I mean, you know,
yeah.
so many courses and stuff.
Yeah, and everything looks really good. And then okay, so then there's also Destiny 2 is coming out for PS5, which
Mhm.
we expect some games like that to see a lot of online play.
Yeah.
Also Fortnite. Um,
Yeah, actually, you know what? After I saw all that, I was like,
Which-
wow, there isn't a lot of multiplayer showcasing on here. And I guess,
Grand Theft Auto
Sackboy-
5 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, these are all multiplayer though, right?
I don't know about Deathloop. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I'm just
some of
talking
those
about
other ones,
yeah,
but-
yeah, but I'm talking about the ones that they're bringing up from
Oh, yeah,
PS4.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because they have to support them, you know. So
Yeah.
and then What was the other one you just brought up? Sackboy looked good. That's like a Mario Maker style. You might like that. All right, Juiciful. You might like that. It's like a level creation kind of game. Spider-Man Miles Morales, the title.
Spider-Man Miles
Spider-Man,
Morales
the new
is
Mario
coming to
of
PS5 this
PlayStation?
holiday season.
Yeah.
The game
I
is a
think
follow-up
so.
to
So
2018's
he's gonna be the
Marvel's
launch.
Spider-Man. You can check out the full
Oh, he's not
reveal
at
trailer
launch.
from
He comes out in
Sony's PS5
2020.
reveal event.
But he's the
Another
big game
built
that they
from the ground
revealed.
up for
Then we
PS5.
got Ratchet and Clank,
Square Enix
the
and
new Ratchet and
Luminous
Clank
Production.
title.
I mean, well, that one is, it's, you know, I think, so before we were going into post-apocalyptic stuff, that was like a big theme with like a lot of everything
And Ratchet
in
and Clank?
media.
Oh,
But now it seems like we're going into different dimensions. That's going to be the big motif of everything.
of everything.
You know, different alternate dimensions, like in
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. That's what the whole thing was with that. And what's that other one? I forget, Revengeance or something, or
I don't remember.
yeah.
But
It's one of
anyway,
them, though.
yeah. So this one looks
Stray,
interesting.
an Annapurna interactive cyberpunk adventure set in a world where humans have died off, but cats are doing just fine.
So
The
Cats.
cinematic trailer revealed the game is due in 2021. Sony also showed off Returnal, a game by Resogun developer Housemarque that is set on an alien planet where the protagonist appears to be stuck in a
Yeah, it
Edge of
looks like
Tomorrow
some kind
type
of mystery
situation
horror.
where she repeats the same events, but the title reveals Sackboy's triumphant return in
Sackboy, little
Sackboy, a
footage.
big adventure that appears to be
So in
performing
Little Big
instead of
Planet,
the
you
2D
made worlds.
action from
Charlie
the
was
first
saying.
3
So
games.
Yeah, you make
If you're
levels.
looking for
I mean, that
something
was
a
like
little
the big thing. You
edgier-
unlock them by playing it. You
yeah,
unlock more stuff, and you can, you know, make better
use it
levels.
to make levels.
And then you can put those levels online. Other people can play them. You know, it was basically like the proto Mario Maker without Mario.
Yeah.
Bethesda and Tango Gameworks gave us a new look at
Ghostwire
Shinji
Tokyo. I don't really
Mikami's
know much about
Ghostwire
that.
Tokyo.
It looks like a lot of
Creepy
magic
demonic
going on
creatures.
Oh, this is the one. This is the game right here. So
First-person melee and magic action, as well as some
is
truly
the one
creepy
made by
demonic
Bethesda.
creatures.
No,
In the
this
realm
is-
of Rocket League and
no.
Twisted
This one looks cool.
this isn't the one where you have the magic powers.
No, this
glimpse
is a
of the
different
PS5 exclusives gameplay that features
Still-
first-person melee and
Okay.
magic action, as well as some truly creepy demonic creatures. In the realm of Rocket League and Twisted Metal, Lucid Games premiered
Yeah,
an
this looks
action
pretty fun.
sports
This
game
will
called
probably like draw a lot
Destruction
of
All-Stars
multiplayer.
that's riddled with destructible characters
hanging
as
out with
well
your
as
friends kind of
on-foot
playing game, a
characters.
destruction
Next
derby
up
game.
is an adventure from M.
And this one looks really good. So this is Kena Bridge of the Spirits. Bridge of Spirits. Kind of like a more fantasy-based Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild style kind of game. You're saying?
lab called
It
Kino.
reminded me of this game that came out for the Xbox 360 launch. I forget what it's called now, but it has a lot of similar vibes to it. But like, I don't know. Like I said, like you look at this right now, it's kind of dark, but everything else.
A
in the
Bridge of
trailer is
Spirits.
bright.
The game has a Pixar aesthetic and features
Yeah.
a boat-toting
Very
heroine
well
exploring a
animated.
vibrant, magical game world, with plenty of fascinating environments to explore and transform.
Yeah.
Another fantastical adventure coming to the PS5 is
Here's
Goodbye
a weird,
Volcano High. It features a unique art style and appears to be an
Unicorn
emotional
people?
title set as developer
I don't know,
co-op
it's like, I didn't see
game
no
called
gameplay.
Soulstorm, a moody new game
And they just roll right.
They just
over
roll
it.
right over Oddworld, and then we're gonna just roll right over
But
Jetfire.
that one
Sure.
looks like a lot more like it's getting to something, you know, like the
Yeah,
stakes
like
are
the
higher.
climax is happening.
reveal included the bizarre and charming Bug Snacks in development at the same
Sorry, so
studio
this is
that
a
made
weird game. The whole trailer is very weird. It reminded me of I guess a little bit of like Animal Crossing.
I was
or
just about to
something,
say,
the
what
visuals.
it looks like Animal Crossing to me.
all the critters, all the bugs or whatever are different types of food, and like so the character in there that like kind of introduces you to everything, he eats something and then like he eats like a hot dog and then his arm turns into a hot dog. So like you get
Okay.
like powers from the food bugs that
So
you
it's
eat.
like a Mega Man-esque, Pokemon-ish Animal Crossing crossover.
Yeah, I don't know like
Is
what
what's
it
the vibes
is.
you get from it? Okay,
Dad,
let's just keep
a new
going.
Astrobot game called Astro's Playroom, and an
don't know
adventure
who
game called
Astrobot
Little
is.
Devil Inside, which
that's-
features
I think
stealth
that's who they're
exploration,
trying to
combat,
make.
and hunting. Games in returning
Ah.
franchises that are headed to
That's gonna be-
PS5
that's gonna
include
be
Hitman
preloaded
3,
into
which is
the
replete with
PS5.
different
you get
settings,
that for free.
and will conclude the
Okay.
rebooted trilogy. You can expect it
So
to launch
Hitman
next
3, that's
January.
kinda exciting for
Until-
people that
and
like
some
Hitman.
basketball as well. Resident Evil 8
NBA
Village
2K.
also made its
New
debut
Resident
during
Evil
the
game.
PS4.
This looks really crazy.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil sucks.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I haven't played a lot of Resident Evil, but it does look good. It reminds me of 4 a lot.
I'm not gonna say Resident Evil sucks. I just don't like Resident Evil games. They kind of blew their shot with me when I was a kid because of the camera angles and controls of it. So I just was like, fuck it. I mean, and again, I'm not a first-person shooter kind of guy, and that's what they turned into anyway. So like,
yeah, I think that's what this is. Before they were doing third person, and I think you could switch.
Third person and first person. It still works like first-person shooter.
But this seems a lot more like a horror survival, like back to it.
Something like more built for streamers and stuff to have engaging.
Showcase. The new horror entry will be in first person, just like Resi 7, and looks like it'll be upping the ante on its creepy setting and doing something strange with series hero Chris Redfield. It's due out in 2021. We also got a look at Pragmata, a post-apocalyptic game from Capcom set in a world with holographic cats. The sci-fi game is largely a mystery at the moment, but we know it'll be out in 2022. Speaking of the post-apocalypse, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, was also revealed. The lush environments and mechanical critters you come to expect are making a return, as is fan-favorite protagonist Aloy. Now for something completely different, Counterplay Games is working with Gearbox on a fantasy action RPG that's exclusively headed to the PS5, called Godfall. The game is described as a looter slasher which will support single-player and co-op, where you can join a group of up to 3 players to take on more threatening foes. Daedalic Entertainment, the creators of Deponia, have...
So I guess right there, it's more about like, you know, loot-based stuff. I'm trying to think, maybe like Borderlands a little bit. But,
Lord of the Rings Gollum?
But, you know, you're going to be using melee attacks. And then, you know...
Do you play as Gollum?
I just paused it there for the last game, Godfall. Looks like it's gonna be really based on the loot that you get. Like they really make a big splash about that. You know, like
why isn't it
godlike loot?
It's not showing the right fucking video either. I'm an idiot. It's okay. Anyway,
announced it's developing a Lord of the Rings game centered around Gollum. Little is known about the game just yet, except that, much like the studios of the titles, you can expect an adventure game. And it's due out sometime in 2021. Bulletstorm and Gears of War...
So it's like a choose-your-own-adventure? Or not?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if that's a safe assumption.
Judgment developer People Can Fly is teaming up with Square Enix for yet another PS5 game due out late this year called Outriders. Outriders is a cover shooter that will apparently push you to hop out from behind those chest-high walls and equip you with a true and...
that I'm definitely excited about because I didn't really get a chance to play that. Demon Souls. Where is it? Oh, little devil or something? Hold on.
Playroom, and an adventure game called Little Devil Inside, which features stealth...
So the whole trailer is like this guy in his house just doing mundane things, and it cuts to this type of stuff.
Like some Alice in Wonderland shit.
Yeah, like this reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild right here. Just the and Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, just in the visuals and stuff. He's you know, running through a field. He's hunting things. He's shooting things like with a gun. He's using swords.
Yeah. I
mean, that looks really cool. The art style is a little peculiar because it just kind of reminds me of like a cell shaded, almost like Wind Waker. That's also, it's very weird. It's like Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker type of and it definitely. Kind of looks like it melds those things together.
Yeah, let's
exploration, combat, and hunting.
Oh yeah, there's some weird vibes going on. Look at that guy. Yeah. Some like Slender Man.
Games and returning franchises that are headed to PS5.
True and is it's just like a you know, it's a game where the guy is like writing a story or something.
Yeah, or tripping out somehow. Something simple where it's kind of weird. You're gonna be in maybe some one area, same things, same places, puzzles maybe going on or something.
Yeah. And showed off its PS5 exclusive Deathloop, the game where 2 assassins are engaged in an ongoing duel. The game features Arcane's signature style and stealth and will be out for the holiday season this year. Bandai Namco revealed their upcoming title, Scarlet Nexus, will also arrive on PS5. It's an action-adventure set in the futuristic city of New Himika, where
So
you'll
that looks-
step into the
that looks
shoes of
pretty
an up-and-coming
interesting.
soldier
Anime
gifted with
style.
psychokinetic
I like that.
powers. The
Sword
visuals are
fighting
bright
game?
and colorful,
Doesn't
and the
look
monster
awful.
designs appear
It doesn't
truly
look like a
creepy.
3D
Vampire the
just-
Masquerade
I actually,
Bloodline.
I couldn't imagine how it would fight though, how it would play, how it could, was that a cutscene or was that actually the gameplay footage?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it looked like cutscene.
I have a lot of complaints about some of that because like, you know,
It looked like game. It didn't look like gameplay. It looked like cutscene footage.
some of this is just cutscenes.
Yeah,
2,
and
the
I mean,
sequel to
they're
the
just
cult
showing
classic,
shit,
will
so-
also be making its
This
way to
is a
PS5.
cult
Paradox has said your
I guess
choices,
it's
plots,
called
and schemes will change the
Vampire
balance of power
Masquerade
in vampire-riddled
like,
Seattle.
heavily
So that'll be
played
one
game.
to watch
Now,
if
this
you're a
is the
Creature of
sequel.
the Night
Looks
fan.
great.
We're yet
It's
to
about
find out if
vampires.
Watch
Yeah.
Dogs Legion will be a PS5 launch title, but
Well,
it
I've heard
will
of
be
this
coming
one.
to the platform. As Legion is set to allow
Yeah.
you to control
Yeah.
any NPC in the game
pretty
world,
interesting.
the extra power of the
I played the
PS5
first-
should
I mean,
be
I
a
didn't play
useful
the first
addition.
one, I played the
Anglers
demo.
can also
So that's like a narrative probably for what's kind of shit that's going on right now, probably in some
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah, in the first one, you were like a like I don't know, like this white hat like hacker guy, and you could pretty much hack anything, and then you used it for whatever, like hack a camera or
Yeah.
hack someone's phone to like blow up or something. It's
Yeah.
like I'm interested to see what else they're gonna do with that in a sequel.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, just so you guys know, that's just a few of the games that are being released. We don't have time to go over everything. We're gonna try to do a podcast later in the week
Yeah.
that'll go through like all the games that we can. We'll just like a PlayStation 5 review video, like what we have to review. We'll have clips. We'll have everything ready. So, we're gonna go to the next section. Before we do that, though,
Right. So, this is just the disclaimer here. We are not saying we know the facts. We are on a journey to find the facts and discuss what information is available to deduce reality from a system design so that we are misinformed. We do not know the facts and never will, but we will try to ascertain them to our best ability.
all right. So let's get into it. Talking about narratives, about shit that's going on. The World Health Organization. Apparently, there's a Facebook post going around saying the World Health Organization said that coronavirus isn't that easy to get now.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, but then it was kind of rebutted as from people that are asymptomatic.
Yeah.
So if you catch it and you don't show symptoms, there's not a good chance that you're giving it to somebody.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot harder to catch it from someone who's not showing any symptoms. It's like I don't know the percentages or whatever, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
So what I also heard was that the numbers that they trumped up the numbers. So there was like people, if they had any signs of kind of coronavirus, they were being said to be the cause of death was coronavirus. I've heard from real people of them going to the doctor not doing any kind of real test on them, but just checking them up like a regular checkup and telling them they had coronavirus. Putting that on the paperwork so that the whole world says, okay, they died from coronavirus. Now, if they die from anything that happens that week, boom, it was coronavirus because they had that on their paper.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it that much. I didn't know if that was how they were doing the cause of death. I heard about that, but like,
oh well, there's doctors saying.
I think it would stop a lot of confusion if they just said this person died and they had coronavirus instead of saying that was the cause of death.
Yeah. But
just a separate.
Break it down in a way that it makes sense. You know. And then on top of that, there was a doctor in New York that quit his job because they were giving people oxygen masks, and he said the oxygen masks they're using put strain on their lungs, so it's actually causing them to die. And he can't keep doing that. He can't be the only doctor that's not letting them or not putting them on the machines. And if they're not going to change it, he can't work for them anymore by his oath. His oath tells him he can't.
Yeah, do no harm.
Yeah, and there was a situation where a nurse. The reason I found out about doctors because a nurse came out. She had her friend that's a nurse not working on corona stuff make a video for her telling how she's being forced to put people on these machines and it's killing them. 80% of the people or something, or it might have been higher than 80% of the people were dying when put on these breathalyzers, when they should have been put on like a CPAP machine, not a breathalyzer.
You mean a what's it called? Not breathalyzer.
Not breathalyzer. That's an alcohol thing.
Yeah. I forget what.
Anyway, they were using a machine that was dangerous to your lungs. It put strain on your lungs. Apparently, a CPAP machine didn't do that, or one of them didn't do that, and that's what the one they should have used. But they don't want to use it because they're telling each other to do that.
And also, I think this does reflect a pretty systemic thing where, I mean, hospitals, they want more funding, so they will upsell things. They will charge you a ton of money for stuff. Obviously, it's your health. There's not really much else you can do besides refuse it, and then you're putting your life into your own hands. But it's a tough situation.
I mean, it's not even that. Really, at the end of the day, right now with everything going on, these are all things we need to address while we're trying to rebuild the foundation right now. We have to rebuild the whole foundation of this country. And this is a good place to start, and how health is handled in this country. And not just saying like globalizing health, because like I do think that's a good thing, like, you know, healthcare for all. But I don't think that might not be one of the first things to jump to, but at least fix the system so that they're working for everyone.
Right.
Not just for the people that want to make money. They should be working for the people that are paying money too. First and foremost, actually.
Right. Well, I think that's the thing too. Is like, so you have insurance companies that are trying to make money. Then you have it's like a string. It's like a whole web of things.
Of course.
So
everybody's trying to get their piece.
Yeah, exactly. So it just makes everything worse as the things get tangled.
And talking about now talking about how everything needs to change, where we're trying to rebuild the foundation. Some people in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
Actually decided that they are going to make a change, and the first thing they're going to do is make a Peter Griffin land, or whatever you want to call it, their own country inside our country.
Oh, right, yeah, Petopia.
Their own Petopia, and it's going to be their own country inside Seattle, inside the capital, around the largest precinct in the city.
Yeah.
The main precinct, police precinct, the headquarters, the precinct headquarters. So I'm going to just give you what I gathered from this, and then we can talk about it. So the police abandoned the precincts because the protesters wouldn't stop protesting. I'm guessing all night and day.
Yeah,
there was people sleeping outside. They were going hard, and they wouldn't stop protesting. So the police captain, the police chief, said, "Okay, we're evacuating the station." Once they did that, they barricaded the streets off to keep cars out. And they took over the police station. And then all the houses surrounding them slowly joined in and added more room and more area to this little country.
And supported them.
And protected them. And at this time, they still have it. They're calling it Chaz.
Yep.
Which is
the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's in Capitol Hill of Seattle.
I think it's Portland.
No, they're in Seattle.
Oh.
They're in the Capitol Hill. That's like they're on that. That's the area. That's where that police station is. And they are letting traffic come through. They're letting people come in, but they have people watching the people that come in.
Right.
There's like monitors on the people that are coming in. And if you want, we can even look at the video before we even talk about it more. But that's what I've gathered out of all my research so far. And they're calling them these criminals, but they're not hurting anyone.
Terrorists. Donald Trump was calling them terrorists. He said he was going to bring the military in if.
That's why you're
the governor, the mayor, the governor. I thought he was talking to the governor actually, but.
I think he mentioned both of them. But yeah, obviously the governor has the final say in that, I think.
Yeah, so let's play the video. This is from some dumb news station, which they'll probably try to skew it in one way or another. But we're going to talk about that too, and the link's in the description if you want to see the original.
You don't need to be doing. What would that be? What are the orders? Can I ask why you're following me?
To make sure you're not doing anything you don't need to be doing.
What would that be? What are the orders you got?
I mean, these guys aren't going to talk to you. They don't know who you are right now. You might have a CNN camera, but you could.
Welcome to Seattle's autonomous zone.
There's definitely some kind of feds getting in there.
This is what happens when protesters take over an entire city block, including a police station.
It might be them doing it.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's about 3 or 4 streets. It's just famous for being ground zero for protests in Seattle. I've been covering protests here for a decade now. This is about where they all start and about where they all end at Cal Anderson Park. It's a very, very progressive, liberal neighborhood in this country. The energy goes to about a level 11. Police intervene, but in the late hours and in the morning hours, like it is here right now, you can actually talk to people and you can get a feel for how they really feel, and everyone's a lot calmer.
Just dropped by to see what they needed, and now I work here.
Oh, really? Yeah. How long have you worked here? What's your...
Maybe an hour.
Okay.
I see a lot of people that likely live in the neighborhood walking their dogs, and people coming to take pictures because they're curious.
Thank you so much.
And then I've had a lot of people come up to me because clearly I work here now. And there is a sign here that shows what supplies they want.
This, what you see here, was within 24 hours. This is called the No Cop Co-op. Literally, I started because I forgot my sign up there. After running for my life, and I came back the next day because I wanted to get it, and I saw this food because people had abandoned it. You've seen people donate. That was already happening, and I started with 1 bag. I asked on Twitter for a tent. 10 minutes later, someone's like, I have one. We got cases upon cases of milk yesterday. The local businesses are bringing pints of ice cream as a joke because we didn't need anything. We asked for a basketball hoop, and that was delivered within a few hours.
These guys are living. They're eating good out there.
Well, do you work? Do you have a job? You furloughed?
No, I have a job, but
everything matters. You know?
I can work remotely.
Where are you from?
I'm a furloughed chef, just trying to help out.
That's more of like the support mechanism, the people, the donations tent. So I want to go check out and see what the rest of the protests
No, they're not taking money.
What's your deal? Why are you down here?
Stuff to the people
Keeping a board or a wall between, whoever wants to hurt these people. Period.
Are people trying to hurt them?
Not as far as I've been here. I've only been standing out here for about 12 hours. But
you guys can probably find all kinds of places
all around
to donate on Twitter, by the way. If you guys want to support this kind of stuff, which is it's a progressive and a good thing, I think that's happening in my opinion. But we'll dig more on that. You'll see our opinions on that the more we talk about it. But if you want to donate to places like this, look on Twitter. Look on people that are in the streets. You'll see small organizers that are doing a lot. They don't have a big platform. Their platforms have instantly been created. You know, they have a platform right now, but it's a new platform for them.
Right.
So do your research. Look at who you're giving shit to. But they are out there. Make sure you're looking at the people that are organizing the protests. Ask maybe a local organization that's organizing the protests who you should donate to. That will help the protesters out. You can always go on Twitter and hashtag protest, hashtag XXX city, whatever city you want, hashtag whatever city, then protest, and you'll probably find a protest or someone organizing a protest for the BLM issues right now, and contact them on Twitter. Probably message them and say, hey, I want to donate $20, or hey, I'm local and I can drop off something. Where should I come? What should I do? Who should I give it to? How can I help in any way that you want to help? And they'll guide you on that.
And also the Michigan bail funds. That's another one to look into. I don't have like all the specifics with me, but basically all the protesters up there, a lot of them are getting arrested, and
all over there's bail funds. So look up bail funds of your local cities and see if you can maybe help bail people out or help donate something that could go towards bailing somebody out that's fighting for all of our rights.
I don't have a home, so.
Oh, we're totally awesome.
How's it going?
Oh, it's good.
What's your job?
My job is to nothing. No, I don't have a job at the moment. I actually quit my job to come and protest.
This is Fox. We're not answering questions.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Who are you? What brings you here?
So I am here under a pseudonym. I'll leave it at that. That makes it irrelevant. And my purpose here is to make sure that everybody who's in there is safe and protected, because we are a non-violent movement, whether that's from violent police action or from Proud Boy incursion, things like that.
How does this end?
How does this end? That's a good question. Ideally, what this looks like is the city takes us seriously, that we need cultural change, and that happens by the standards that we set in our laws. The only reason why we have made police unwelcome here is because their presence has been largely antagonistic. While they aren't here, there's nothing but peace and humanity over there. And it is beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to take a minute to just talk about these guys were protesting peacefully, and they were met with a lot of force, a lot of rubber bullets, a lot of tear gas, a lot of mace, and they pushed back, and that's why the police, they left the precinct. They abandoned it, they boarded it up. They did let the chief back in there to just look at things, but what they did was they actually made a perimeter. They got things to barricade it around, and after the police left, they kind of solidified their spot there. And I mean, most as far as I could see, a lot of it is just self-defense, and they had the numbers, so they were able to push them out. And I think a big part of that, when we were talking about bail funds, is police only have a certain amount of hours in their work week before they have to get paid a lot more money. So the whole thing is you want to make sure that the strategy is to wear them out. Basically, they won't have enough. You have enough people. If people keep getting bailed out, there will be more protesters than there are police to actively.
If you can donate 10 hours of your time to one protest, that's a whole shift, more than one shift of one cop. You know what I mean?
And there's not just one cop working either. So that's a lot of them. They're going to be tired before you're going to be tired because these people have the numbers.
And these guys out here can take a second and go smoke a cigarette, go grab a water, go grab food. Yeah. Those guys have to stand there in armor, in all this gear. You know what I mean? They're gonna be tired, and on top of that, they don't want to be. They don't want to be there. There's a lot of them that don't want to. Not saying all cops are bad. That's but that's not the point right now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that can't lose their job, which we touched on the last podcast. We lost it, so we do want to emphasize. There's a lot of cops that can't afford to not just work. They don't have another job they can jump to, but they're gonna jump to a security job for a third of the pay, and then not be able to pay the bills that they have to pay because they have a higher standard of living, which is already a different issue.
And also, I think a lot of it, back to the healthcare. I mean, these guys have good benefits. That's a lot of the reason why they're working.
And then let's add to it everybody's criticizing black cops for being out there, but you gotta understand black people take up a more majority of the poverty rate, right? Mm-hmm. So if he's a black cop, there's a better chance that he is more susceptible to being hurt and financially disturbed by losing his job or not going to work or quitting because of this than another cop next to him.
Right. And that doesn't absolve them of brutality or anything. A lot of issues that people are pushing for is making sure that police live where they are working. But instead of coming from somewhere else, so they don't have that connection with the community.
I mean, I think a big answer would be people from the neighborhood policing the neighborhood.
Right.
That is what needs to happen. And there are people that want to do it. And I don't think backgrounds and stuff should always be that big of a deal as to where are you from and how many people in this neighborhood. Let's let them vote on the person they want to listen to.
Right.
This is this is a tribal thing,
That's
these
democratic.
It's really a tribal thing.
Yeah.
So back to Native Americans or African tribes where you got to earn your places, you got to earn your respect in the neighborhood, and if you have that respect, you got to do your diligence to keep control of your area, right? It's not just the bad areas. It's not just the hoods I'm talking about. I'm talking about the suburbs, and it's just a little harder because they're a little more widespread. But you can still organize it in such a way that who's holding it down, who's doing the most for us that we respect enough to listen to.
Right. And that goes with the whole community. If you look at a housing association or something, that's going to be what they're doing is they're trying to keep their property values up. They're not actually looking at is this helping people? You know what I mean? Not always. I'm not going to say that they are always just looking for to keep their property value up. But there's other things.
These are non-factors of what we're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying to do it for the right fundamental reason.
Well, no, the people that you respect because of their power, not because their money controls their power. There has to be a respect factor where people are choosing it. Like, if it's not chosen by the people, specifically by the people, 100%, down to the nitty gritty, every single vote has to come from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, then it's not working. And these are things that we definitely need to think about implementing into society. And right now is the time for like all kinds of changes in the foundation of this country to make sure that everything has to be the same. Why are people being charged different rates? Why are they going away for different time periods? It makes no sense.
And a lot of it has to do with, it's not, we might disagree on this, but sometimes capitalism isn't a democratic thing. Like, you don't vote for what police, they just hire someone
who wants the job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anybody who wants the job and has the record to take it
exactly.
and finish the 6-week course, whatever it is. It's bullshit. I guess we can go to Dave Chappelle now.
Oh, yeah.
So Dave Chappelle did a whole special. I guess people are calling it a comedy special. People are calling it a Netflix special he released, but it's not a special.
Right.
It's
not comedy.
This is not a comedy. He does tell a couple of jokes, but that's his nature.
Yeah, that's the keep it light, I think.
This is a public address.
Mm-hmm.
He's addressing the public. He's talking to white people, the people that love him. There are a group of people that love him. They love him because he made everyone laugh. It wasn't about, Dave Chappelle. If you know anything about Dave Chappelle, he's not a racist person. He loves everybody. He's played roles of like these anti-white people characters, but he's not that. Like, he lives in a white neighborhood and he grew up around white people. That's.
And he talked about how his friends changed once he got more. He got more famous and more money. And stuff.
Beyond that, we're gonna take a couple peeks at it, but like, this touched him on another level, and then he felt the need to come out and say something. Comedians aren't the type. They're the polar opposite of a politician is a comedian, because they actually are the yin and yang to each other. A comedian tells you about what's going on, but tries to make it funny so it doesn't hit you hard.
Right.
The politician lies to you about what's going on in order to soften the blow of reality.
And I feel like, they do kind of both do that in a way, though.
Well, they both touch on reality.
Well,
but one exposes it and one deflames it. One calms it down and tries to ease it up for you like you're a baby.
Yeah.
Where comedy just force feeds that shit to you, and it's just like, And we can't watch this whole thing, obviously, because this isn't ours. This is his special. He gathered a whole bunch of people from his neighborhood. It looks like it's on his property. He has a big ranch. So it looks like it's on his own property. He does shows and shit here a lot. Like, he does musical festivals and shit at his property. Like, he's known for that.
That's cool as hell.
But let's, just hear a couple of lines of what he was saying.
In fact, I remember I made a point not to scream, just in case I lived, I wouldn't have to remember myself being vocally terrified, but I forgave myself for being terrified. That earthquake couldn't have been more than 35 seconds. This man kneeled on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you imagine that? This kid thought he was gonna die. He knew he was gonna die. He called for his mother. Called for his dead mother. I've only seen that once before in my life. My father, on his deathbed, called for his grandmother. When I watched that tape, I understood this man.
All right, we're going to sort of end it right there, because, it's not our special. The link is in the description if you guys want to go watch it. That is a good vibe of what the whole thing's about.
Yeah, it's kind of like a microcosm of just how much it was personal to him.
Yeah,
and
this is just the beginning. It gets a lot deeper and a lot more connected to him. He explains it, and you guys can go check that out. I want to say that I feel like he said what needed to be said, and he said in a way that it reminded me of, excuse me. It reminded me of Obama, like the way he was addressing people. It was a little radical, but it had to be radical. Not that doesn't remind me of Obama, but what he said was, and it was true. There's a lot of truth in it, and I think that anybody that calls this a comedy is probably racist because I don't know what you were laughing at.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple funny jokes in there, but like I don't know what you were laughing at the whole thing.
Candace Owens thing.
Like
that was...
no, there was funny shit. Like well, yeah, he called her. I know she got stank pussy.
Yeah.
That shit was funny, but like it's not a comedy though. Like this is actually a narrative. Like this is a social commentary, right. And this needs to be looked at as such. Like even though there are funny parts, it didn't make me laugh because there's so much sad parts in it.
Yeah.
So it's like I think he's just balancing out the sad stuff he wants to talk about with a couple of jokes because that's what comedians do. And don't call this a comedy.
Yeah, and honestly, like he talked about it. He talks about Don Lemon like not saying celebrities aren't speaking up, and he was right. The streets were speaking up. Like what's going on right now? He said is the wrath of God, and that's what I think is I'm not really a religious person, but I really think that was deep. It's like this is what people are talking about. This is how they feel about this.
Yeah.
How many times can this happen before something snaps?
And he brought up a couple of points about that where I think it was him. And he said we know it's not. We know that the kid right here in our own town of Cleveland. I think he's Cleveland, somewhere in Ohio. But he's like right there. Right before Trayvon's murder happened, he was strangled to death or something.
Yeah.
And that got overlooked because of that, and we forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And then so whenever you ask us, yes, it's been building and it's been coming. He emphasized that this is not a new thing. It's just like, and it shouldn't have taken anybody this long to start caring this much about it. And I think everybody cared about it this much, but there weren't enough people showing it, so they didn't feel like we all had enough power to fucking overcome it,
Right.
And when I say we all, I mean everybody that's an ally with the cause right now, like because anybody being persecuted or being held back in their own country that they live in, anywhere even, but like just beyond that, like their own country that they helped build, and we all live in together and keep it going and run this fucking country together and try to cohabitate. If any one person's being persecuted by the law, everybody like everybody is, and everybody will be treated to that same extent at any time without repercussions. Look at Run the Jewels said in their song,
Kill your master.
If they're treating you like this now, if they're treating somebody like this now, you're just fucking next. You're gonna be the one treated like this next. So if you don't, if you want to look at it in a selfish way, because like that's not my point to it, but that's a good fucking point to make. And then if you think that this is bad, wait till they start doing it to you.
Right.
Then maybe you'll change your tune.
Yeah. It's like I mean,
but it's going to be too late by then.
That's human nature, is to what's in it for me. But the thing is, there's always something in it for you helping someone else. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's right now. It doesn't matter when it is. Even if it makes you feel better, whatever, that's cool. But like you are those people.
If everyone's doing good, everyone's doing better.
Right. Exactly.
So like, if each person's doing good, everyone's doing good.
Right.
If everyone's doing good, everyone's doing better than they would be if everyone wasn't doing good. Right? So, like, these are things that we all need to talk about. Yo, what's going on, dude? How you doing? Yeah, peace and love, man.
Yeah,
John Paul O'Keefe, shout out. So, talking about celebrities speaking up about what's going on and just people speaking, we always do the Biden Says segment. That's going to be a key thing in here until he disappears. Hopefully, the sooner the better, because I would like to stop talking about him already. And this is already only the second episode. But he spoke at George Floyd's eulogy, which was an internet eulogy, I guess.
Yeah. It was obviously some kind of thing for him. Like, it was a way for him to get traction with people
and seem like he's an ally.
Yeah.
Which we know he's not.
It's optics.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody knows he's not an ally.
He helped create some of these crime bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's part of the problem.
And I just want to preface this. It's not like we, okay, yeah, you got two people running for president, right? we already know about the other guy.
The only two
There's
people.
There's so much out there about the other guy. You know what he says. What
Oh,
he does.
the rapes. We should have looked that up. We were going to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
We might get into that, but
yeah, the connections there.
That's crazy. So he keeps getting charged with rape. But anyway, so Biden gave a eulogy. But the weirdest part about the eulogy, we're not going to watch the whole video, but we're going to look at one part of this eulogy. So this is what was shown on, and the link's in the description. Now This News. I think this is a more liberal kind of freer news. But beyond that, so he's given a speech to George Floyd's family here.
Why the answer is so often too cruel.
And right about
why in this nation do too many blacks wake up knowing that they could lose their life? Let's not roll
right
like
about here somewhere.
Why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can't turn away. We cannot leave this moment thinking we can once again turn away from racism that stings at our very soul.
Yeah, for sure, John.
From systemic abuse that still plagues American life. As Thurgood Marshall once implored, quote, "Descent from fear
there's a
can't
spot.
do better."
I think it was
which taught me.
It might have been a little earlier.
Because you're smiling. A lot of questions, huh?
Yeah. This thing. I think it was around
the moment. I know you have a lot of questions, huh?
There's a spot where it's just cut, where there's a whole section cut out, and you can and they cut it so obviously. Like it's meant to piss people off and make people think something, and you know he probably did say some crazy shit.
Yeah, or he made another gaffe because he's not a very smooth talker right now. He's got some going on.
If you look at his Charlemagne interview, you could tell the guy wanted him to stop fucking talking for about 10 minutes before he said, "If you're black and you don't vote for me, then you're not black."
Yeah.
Or whatever he said about that. But you could tell that they don't want him talking.
Right.
And they aren't going to give him a Twitter account because you're going to see another Trump. And he's not going to get voted in, but that's not even the point. It would be nice. So all this stuff's going on.
And I don't even think he knows how to use Twitter. Anyway.
George Floyd. There's protests everywhere. All over the country there's protests. LA, New York, Philly, all the big cities. Even the small cities are holding protests. Our town is holding them. Every day apparently they've been happening, but they're kind of small and they're not very long. But you should definitely, we looked at a bunch of it. We just actually talked about that, John, the Dave Chappelle. That was a really moving speech, and I don't think that was a comedy. That's what we were saying. Anyway, if you guys want to do anything, look up hashtag insert city name here and then protest. So hashtag city protest. Whatever city you want to put in, and you'll find some near you. And you can even contact the organizer and see if they need any help. You maybe just throw them $5. Whatever you want to do, that'd be fucking great. Yeah, that was some good stuff, Chappelle. But outside of America, London, France, Australia, New Zealand, China.
Yeah.
A very, very racist country. Africa. All these countries are protesting. London, they were fighting the police.
Yeah.
I mean, the police only have sticks, so it makes sense. But still, they're fighting cops.
I'm sure they have a problem too. I mean,
no, they do, and that's the point.
Colonial-based country, yeah, I would bet
that
definitely has some issues when it comes to brutality.
Yeah, I mean, all these countries are fighting for us, and then to go into something a little lighter, all these hip hop artists are, as they're expected, it's expected they're gonna put some songs out.
Right.
Meek Mill, T Grizzly, Nick Cannon, some of the highlighted songs that I would suggest. I mean, all three of those songs were super dank. Nick Cannon's visuals on top of the song, it was just amazing. That we have the links in this description below if you guys want to check them out. But let's play a little bit of Nick Cannon's.
And you know what? He's gotten a lot of flack, but he also did something like this 3 years ago with Eric Garner, right?
Yeah.
Because Eric Garner.
Yeah, he did something before about it. He's been fighting in any way he can, and he's also vowed to continue the Nipsey Hussle documentary on what's his name, the doctor that says you don't.
Sebi.
Dr. Sebi.
So I can't breathe again. God damn, I can't breathe. Our voices are being quarantined. COVID-19, 60s to 1619.
Everybody will tell you Nick Cannon's not a good rapper. But, he really did get his point across.
Jamestown choked me, sold me, shackles hold me tightly by my neck, and I can't breathe again. 2020 ain't no fucking vision on your tail light vision of why I'm living like a prejudged villain. CNN, Fox News commentating and debating why I can't fucking breathe again. How many times?
So like, that's just gonna give you the vibe of that one. You know, I don't want to play the whole song with all the copyright shit that's happening right now. They might want to edit that and take that out of there. But that's the Nick Cannon song. The link's in the description. If you want to hear that shit was really, really it's heartbreaking. I mean,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's not a surprise to people that know the world they've grown up in. Like, we've been seeing these kinds of things all our life. All right, so T Grizzly got together with Queen Naija and members of the Detroit Youth Movement. He's from Detroit. I don't know who Queen Naija is. Oh, Michigan. Michigan, they're fighting a lot too up there. There's a lot of protests in Michigan. And this is like a really good song, and he tells a really good story. Like,
what if that was my brother? What if that was my dad? What if that was my uncle? What if they were all I had?
It's really heartwarming and tear-jerking and sad and all at the same time. And it's good to see people putting out songs. If you guys want to check out that one, the link's in the description. And then another one we want to highlight is Meek Mill. We'll pull that one up real quick.
And I mean, he's no stranger to the police just being always up his ass. So
Meek Mill's been fighting with the cops his whole life. So.
You know.
And I mean, Philly has been one of the worst.
All you have to lose, you're living in poverty. Your schools are no good.
No.
You have no jobs.
He's just been
58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
And that's what he's saying right now. We've seen this. This ain't a surprise to us.
Mama let me sip the 40. I was just a shorty. Damn. Then I started spitting garlic, and they said record me. Man. I feel like this shit was for me. This shit, this my story. Yeah, jumped out the porch, I got a Porsche, no take it back. I'm on the block with the killers and holding my own, of course, yeah. I see my mom and dad separate, ain't talking divorce.
I want to stop right now. We're not going to listen to the whole song already, but like, it gets deeper as it goes. Like, he starts off, but I think the point of the whole idea of that is like, I want to prove to you, like, I've actually been rapping about this the whole time.
Yeah.
Look at the second line, he said, or the third line, he said, I'm outside with the killers and the drug dealers on the porch. You know, or like, that's a bar that's looked at as like, oh, I'm just being cocky. But really, this is actually just like real life. Like, this is actually like, this isn't an option. I didn't choose to go hang out in the hood and hang out with the killers and drug dealers. You know, like, I just go out front and killers and drug dealers are on my front porch.
Yeah.
And that's not because they're bad people even. Those are my family. Like,
yeah.
But they have to be killers and drug dealers, and this is the society that we live in that has pushed us to this point. You know, that like, this is like a deeper
systemic issues have definitely pushed.
Yeah, and we're gonna skip to a little bit deeper in the song just to show y'all like that. This is like
we was going to war. I was praying I ain't catch a shell. Yes. We ain't starving for 1,000 nights. Living like we trying to die tonight. Glock 40 sound like dynamite. I was fucking up my car money. Selling soap like it's China white. OG said you fucking a block up. I was mad, I was trying to fight. Nigga, we home. Mommy at work, daddy he dead. Nigga, we home. Stomach growling like an AMG. Going to bed, we home.
I mean, this is just like this song really emphasizes that like these are the things that we're talking about glorifying all the time, but it's actually the same song whenever you put it into this narrative now. Now look at it in this narrative, and it's actually the same song. Like, it's a really artistic and deep thing I think he did. And all three of them really did do a bang up job on those songs. You know?
And like also like, I mean, I know this is kind of a sidebar in a little way. I didn't really go over this when we were like, you know, planning stuff out, but like, there are 3 protesters in New York, I think. And they threw Molotovs at police cars. One of them didn't have any police in it. That one got set on fire. One of them was thrown, didn't ignite, and hit a police car. And those people are facing life in prison right now, while the police are shooting rubber bullets at people and tear gas. I mean, a girl died from asthma.
This is one thing I want to ask, because like, is it actual tear gas, or is that what they keep calling it to glorify in the media? Because I think it's pepper gas, right?
I don't know, but I know that it's illegal in war. You can't use that
Well,
stuff.
tear gas is. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's why. No. I just want to clarify because they keep saying tear gas, but it sounds like more like, oh, they cut his fucking head off by saying they murdered him. You know what I mean? Is it like just something they're using to emphasize it?
I believe
Pepper
they
gas,
are.
correct? Okay, so it is pepper gas. It's not tear gas. Tear gas is a thing that like you said, it's a criminal thing to use for war. You know, so like it's not tear gas, it's pepper gas. But I know some streamers that were out there. I know a streamer, a friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants his viewers to know what he's been doing. But he was out there and he said his whole arm from here all the way up to here was burnt from the gas. Yeah, tear gas is illegal. So they keep saying tear gas, but it is pepper gas. I feel like do your part and correct everybody that keeps saying that on their fucking Facebook posts because it's annoying. And even if you just like correct a couple people, that shit will start trickling down and they'll start correcting everybody because it's still fucked up. I'm just saying you shouldn't be fucking pepper gassing and fucking shooting people at all.
I mean,
they're not violent. I've been watching. You know, the violent people aren't being attacked. I mean, are being attacked and. I mean, the violent people aren't being attacked. The cops literally moving out of the way for the people so they can riot and loot buildings. And then the people that are protesting, they're shooting them and gassing them and gathering up into small crowds and then hitting them all with the gas. You know what I mean? So, like, I know it's fucked up either way. If y'all want to shoot somebody, shoot the ones that are breaking shit. You know what I mean? With the rubber bullets. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot somebody with rubber bullets, that's the ones. But you're not. And I'm not saying even do that. I don't think that's even right. But at the same time,
right. And even then, the as far as I know, the proper protocol for using rubber bullets is to bounce them off the ground. You have to shoot the ground.
Yeah, you have to shoot them off the ground.
Bounce it up to
well, they're not using those rubber bullets. They're using giant rubber bullets, which are different. And they're actually just shooting people in the fucking head with these fucking mallets.
Yeah, and cans. Yeah.
Yeah, and the tear gas cans, the pepper gas cans.
Yeah.
Which are just fucking giant fucking 2x4 cans of fucking gas. Like they're hitting people in the head and shit. There's a whole bunch of fishy shit going on, and that's what we try to dive into. We want to see the negative and the positive. We want to see what the good guys and the bad guys are saying because everybody thinks that their side's the good side. And I'm gonna tell you what, your side's lying to you too. It's about not being on either side. There's one side right now, and the side is of the people, not about the political sides. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's about the people's side. We need to create a people's police right now and do what Seattle's doing. Not take over the city, but like just let them know we'll run this. This is ours. The revolution needs to happen. It's time.
And we can't expect it to just go that way. But we need to be opportunists. We need to find. It's like, all right, so I was listening to this podcast, right? And he said it's kind of like squeezing clay in your hand, right? You're not going to always be able to control which way it comes out, but you got to seize if it comes out through your fingers, a way you didn't expect. You still got to get that, you know what I mean? You got to be able to do something in the system, even though it's hard. I mean, you
got to work with what's working around you to make it work. I mean, to make things work, you got to work with what you got.
You can't expect to just throw everything over.
And you're gonna have to fail sometimes. Yeah. And America's the most successful country of all time. No, it is. No, like financially, health and fiscally, militarily. It is the most powerful and the most functional country of all time, but at the same time it's done a lot of fucked up shit, and there's a lot of things still broken with it that we can see that are obvious that for the sake of our species of human beings, it's time to fix this shit. Like, we know it's wrong, then why the fuck aren't we fixing it? We're just falling in line with these old rules that they worked for us.
Yeah.
No,
it ain't working with them.
We ain't working for us.
We didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for any of that.
Listen, I was just born into a world. You can't tell me what is right and wrong by what these old heads said like hundreds of years ago. Because if you tell me that, they were fucking whipping slaves back then, and that's some. I gotta take.
Got statues of
we're using their morality.
Yeah,
come on.
It's a different time.
Yeah, we are evolving right now.
Oh, absolutely.
We are definitely evolving. This is a great evolution. Like whenever we went through the mechanical age, it's like the same thing. But this is beyond that. This is spiritual age. This is a mental age. A lot of people are being put to the test right now in a way that they've never been in humanity. And there are times. I mean, people have been tested beyond this at times, but I'm saying it's a different thing. It's a sociological, psychological. These are tests that are testing if we're not physically capable anymore, but mentally capable to sustain as a race.
Exactly.
As the human race.
I think this is the age right now of information. You know, we had the industrial age. Now, you know, the Tulsa massacre, the whatever it was, the Greenwood massacre. How many people actually knew about that until a couple of years ago?
But beyond that, even
so
the
fast.
technological age, yes, we haven't perfected everything in the technological age. We haven't perfected everything in technology, but
welcome back, man.
We're gonna be we're trying to understand. Right now, what's going on is we're trying to evolve to. The Earth is testing us to see if we can psychologically withstand the next level of civilization, and because if we can do it mentally, we already know what we can do mentally in the technological sense.
Right.
So we have to find out if we can do this whole different thing that's going to be happening soon, which is happening faster now. Everything's been elevated fast. Everything's online, on your computer. You're all sitting at home now. You're doing school at home.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to go to the store unless you're wearing a mask. We can't even see each other in public anymore.
Yeah.
We can't. This is socialized. Our society has been unsocialized. We're making friends with people that are in different countries now. We're making friends with people that we will never meet in person and be able to shake their hand, be able to hug, be able to cry when they die.
Yeah.
If one of my friends that I don't know that are in Australia dies tomorrow, no one's gonna message me on Facebook and be like, "Yo, dude."
Yeah, you're just not gonna see him.
You know, you're just never gonna know what happened.
Yeah, that's like that weird.
This is like a desensitizing thing mentally.
It is. It's like a phenomenon. You know, you're online gaming or whatever, and one of your friends just never logs in again. You see, it's been 8 years or something since they logged in. You're like, damn, what the fuck happened to that dude? You know what I mean?
Never know.
And like,
maybe he just quit playing games.
Yeah.
Maybe he died.
Yeah.
And even that's always the thought in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something happened to him. You're never gonna know again. And it hurts. But it's gonna desensitize you to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And also on that point, when you said that the Earth is testing us, inversely, the powers that be have been testing us to see how much we can take.
No, how much they can get away with.
Yeah, how much that.
And at this point, we're not letting them get away with anything ever again because they push too far. I think. You know,
they were looking for what they call the cool zone, somewhere where it's a little too much, but we're always too busy working and doing stuff to actually do anything about it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the wage being stagnated and productivity going up, is because they want us to stay busy so we can't be activists, so we can't go out and do things. You know what I mean? We're too tired. We're too busy. That's the whole point of this. It's not about just them making money.
And I think
it's about them making money and getting away with as much as they can.
And I think they are slowly slowing technology down for sure. But that's another thing that we got to fix. That's the thing, man. Like, your friends that you know online will never be able to grieve if you die tomorrow. They don't even know. And but the great thing is that you can have friends all over the world, and it will be easier to find friends that you can relate to, people that you can relate to and become closer with than the group that you are surrounded with. Because everything will go back to normal school-wise. You will go back to school. You will go back to college. You know, you're going to be hanging out with people still. And then if you want, the bars are going to be open again. The beaches are going to be open. You're going to be able to socialize again. This isn't going to be perfect. But I would cry if any of my friends if I knew, but that's the problem. You don't know. But at the same time, it is great that we have these platforms to connect with each other, to talk to each other.
And organize, we could use this.
And organize to fix things. Because we have the most power. Right now, technology, the people that use technology are the most powerful people in the world. Because the people that don't know how to do it.
And that's our world now. If you can go to a store and ask for a paper application, but they'll probably just tell you to apply online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's like that type. That's a small part of like a big picture.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, there's so many things that technology is the future. Obviously, if we didn't have technology and this pandemic hit like 10 years ago, and they treated it like it was, like beyond if it's real or not, like the whole fishy thing, like it is fishy. Like we touched on the World Health Organization line already, and that whole thing, like they just.
Well, and then they switched their tune up, but the CDC, I don't think they did.
But I don't even know who voted them into play. Like who picks these people?
Yeah.
Who says these people get to say what's right and wrong? You know, and I mean it's the same thing like the whole Twitch music thing that's happening. You know, like I understand that they don't want you to be able to charge people for a song. That's fucked up. I don't even know why that's built into some of the programs that you use for streaming, like Streamlabs and stuff. It's actually built into Streamlabs that you can't play music unless somebody pays. So, I mean, you can, if you use different bots and stuff, you can fix it. But it's built into the Streamlabs bot that there's no option to charge them $0 to request a song. You can play your playlist, but if they want to request a song, it's not going to get in there unless they pay the 10 bits is the minimum. 10 bits is the minimum. That's 20 cents in real life because you got to pay like twice the amount almost, or it's like 15 cents in real life. That's a lot. But I do understand why a music artist doesn't want somebody to charge somebody to play their song. It's a jukebox, pretty much, right? So the same principles of a jukebox should apply. If they're making something off it, X percent goes to the person, just like a streaming fee.
Right.
Just like a streaming service would do, right? So why couldn't that be implemented in? Beyond that, if they're not paying for it and you're just playing it, all you're doing is giving that person free advertisement by putting their music out there for more people to see.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, those artists don't even really have control over this. It's the people that own that. And those artists get a fraction of that. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's the lawyers and the labels and stuff that are actually moving that litigious.
Yeah. And let me preface this. So what's happening right now on Twitch is there's been a lot of crackdown of the copywriting going on. It's the NCLA or something like that. NCCA or WCL or some weird shit like that. You know, acronym for something that means we have power over people. And the copyright people. So they are going around looking at clips and videos, pre-recorded streams that record to Twitch and replay for people if they want to watch it again. So if you want to watch an old stream from yesterday that you missed of your favorite streamer, you can go back and watch that stream. They're going on those streams, and Twitch, I think what Twitch is doing is preemptively they will mute the stream if it has copyrighted music at that part. So Twitch is putting in some kind of their own programming in to listen to the VOD and say, hey, at this part you have music that will get you in trouble, so we're going to mute this so they can't hear it, so it can't be played replay. But they didn't have that implemented on the clips. So they were going back and seeing the clips, and it plays like it's 30 to 60 seconds of music clip. And in that time period, you know, you're showing a clip of what you did in that game. The showcase of the clip is always what you're doing. It just happens that you're playing someone's music behind you for the crowd and also for them. You want to see your favorite artists do good. So you are trying to promote them and share who they are. So, but anyway, they're going on the clip and seeing it. So my point about that is it's a 30-second to 60-second clip. The max it can be is like 59.5 seconds. People that go on YouTube and do reviews of music do 3-minute songs, and they'll keep breaking it up to about 30 seconds to a minute sections. And that's so that they don't get hit with copyright. So why is a clip that is too small to play the whole song being hit with a copyright? No, non-copyrighted music is not getting flagged. But it's still the fact that you're promoting an artist. You're promoting their music by playing it on your stream.
Yeah.
Even if you only have 3 viewers, you might have gave them 2 new fans for that.
Yeah.
And that's worth it because you didn't make any money off that.
Right.
I understand whenever you charge somebody to play a song, that is a thing that happens on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I do not agree that that's fair. If it was going to do that, send half of it to the artist because it's their song, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not going to charge people for it, you're actually just giving them free promotion, and that's not a detriment on them. That's a benefit to them, and you should not be hurt for that.
Right. It's not like people are going to your stream because you're playing
they're not going on because you're playing a song. You know, it's not the plan. Oh, we want to go hear that new song on blah 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 stream on Jump on Turtle stream, so we're gonna go over there and listen to it.
Yeah,
they're gonna go on YouTube and listen to it. They're gonna go on SoundCloud. They're gonna go on Spotify. They're gonna. And also to touch on that, because we're nearing the end of the stream here. I am looking into getting us on some streaming platforms, some podcasting platforms, which will be audio only. You know, it'll be audio podcasts. So we will be able to be heard on those platforms. You're not making profit off somebody. Yeah, exactly. You're not making profit off somebody else's work, so. What are we copywriting by playing music, you know?
Well, they did the same thing with video games.
Just because you're potentially making profit off your stream. It's not that you're making profit on your stream. I have streams that I'm not making shit on. The whole stream I didn't make nothing, right?
Yeah.
And if you go to it, if you break it down to the average amount I've made off every hour I spent on Twitch is probably like a penny an hour, you know? So like what am I making off a stream that it's really taking something from these artists' pockets?
But these guys are so ruthless. They want to squeeze every single penny that they can out of you.
Yeah.
And like, all right, so yeah, exactly. Like,
but anyway,
you're not making a profit off of
it. What I was trying to get into to wrap things up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know, we're gonna be on the podcast. We might be able to get on some common podcasting websites soon. I was looking into it. It's not gonna be hard to do. So if you guys want to check us out, we forgot about the Magic cards.
Oh yeah.
So Magic the Gathering, the biggest trading card game in the world, the first trading card game of all time. It's pretty much the Disney of trading cards. It's the one that inspired Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. They actually created the Pokemon card game for them.
Wizards of the Coast. Yeah.
They created the format for the Pokemon card game.
Yeah.
VODs being on YouTube, you have to mute the music if you're playing whole songs on it. Let's get into that. So the reason that if you look at my YouTube videos, they have some ambient sound, jazzy, elevator style music in the background, and there's no vocals because I like to play music on my streams, and I know that if I'm playing a whole song on my YouTube video, there's the AdSense factor. But see, on Twitch, AdSense is an option. So you can play an ad to get paid for it. But I'm not playing ads. I don't play ads.
Yeah.
I'm not playing an ad. You get a penny for like every 1,000 views or something, or 10 cents for every 1,000 views. I'm not playing a fucking ad. If I ever get to the point where like I have 1,000 viewers, maybe I'll play an ad every time I go on break or something. But not while I'm streaming. I'm not gonna break people off from my middle of my fucking action. Something good happens while I'm fucking playing an ad. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, no, that's dumb. And also, like, you can just do it more organically.
But so on YouTube, there's AdSense. Yeah. So to answer the question, what about VODs being on YouTube? So because of YouTube, once you become a person that is getting paid to be a YouTuber, you are in the YouTube affiliate type program it's equivalent to the affiliate program on Twitch, to where you get enough views. I think it's 1,000 subscribers. You get accepted and you can start making AdSense on YouTube. So I think if you have AdSense using full songs, you should mute your videos, you know? At the point I was when I was making my videos, I shouldn't have had to because I'm not making anything off it, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know? And if I have if I'm doing a commercial in the middle of my video for somebody that's sponsoring me, then yeah, I should be hit for playing someone else's music in my video because I'm still making money off my video, right? It's a guaranteed check off it though. I'm not guaranteed the $2 donation from Juiciful because he likes watching me play video games every day. It's not because I have the 50 Cent Many Men playing in the background. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because Eminem Godzilla's playing. It's because he hangs out with me all the time and he wanted to give me $2, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and he enjoyed the content and he felt like it's worthy of the extra little bit of something from him to show that he cares. It's not about the music on Twitch. If someone's donating to you on Twitch, it's because they like you. It's not because of anything beyond that.
Or you know, there's like little quirky things, you know, you donate and something happens. But, you know.
Yeah.
But that by itself is because you have a platform that's established.
Yeah.
And
but and that's not even what we're talking about. We're just talking about the AdSense
Right.
So on YouTube, it's a different way that you get paid on it, and I think that factors in of the copyright shit. Let's talk about the Magic cards. That we already got into it. We started getting into it.
Yeah.
So there's a list of Magic cards that got banned because of racial kind of terminology. It's kind of borderline though. It's like you can consider it being racist. You can consider it being fucked up in some way.
I mean, if you want to put up some graphics, I don't know if that'll.
Oh yeah, we can look up the images.
And, you know what?
But what are the cards that got banned? Give me the names of the cards that got banned first.
So it's Invoke Prejudice.
What day was it?
Now these on Gatherer on the official website, like the official wiki of the cards or whatever, the encyclopedia of cards, the art has been taken down and it says that it's banned. There's like a thing about it.
All right, so yeah, the cards are Invoke Prejudice, which I'm gonna get into my opinion on this in a second. Cleanse, Stone Throwing Devils, Pradesh Gypsies. This is probably for the word gypsy, right?
Right.
Jihad, which.
All right. Yeah.
It's a name, right? Of the character in the card, though.
I think Jihad.
No,
I mean
No, I'm saying Jihad is a card name of a legendary permanent. That's a card character. That's his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what his name is. That's what that card is. Imprison. Imprison?
Well, Imprison.
Well, I'm just telling you so far. Imprison and Crusade, which Crusade was the Jewish fight, right?
Well,
the big war.
that was the Christian and there's a war between Christians and Muslims and.
Christians and Muslims.
I guess it's like the inverse. I don't know. I guess they thought it was the inverse.
Well, no, I understand that one more than most of them.
And also it does have ties to white nationalist terminology. So does Cleanse, I guess. But yeah.
Oh, that's Invoke Prejudice?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite cards, bro. I love this card. Hold on. Let's get it up on the screen. Okay. This is Invoke Prejudice. If a summon spell that does not match the color of one of the creatures under your control, that spell is countered unless the caster pays an additional X, where X is the casting cost. This is a super good control card. That does not depict Cloakless gang members, if that's what you're about to say.
Well, I think
it depicts like a ghostly form. I mean, it could depict that, but
I
think they made a point to colorize it in that way so that it didn't. So the image would still give you that kind of feeling. This is an artist you're talking about, right? So the image would give you that kind of feeling, but it wouldn't be that because they were already banning cards back then for having demonic stuff and
that was a whole...
witchcraft.
Yeah,
like demons and witchcraft and Christianity was getting cards banned back then. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little goofy, but if we
is this the artist you're talking about?
Yeah, if we go into the context of this guy, Harold McNeil.
Okay, so this artist apparently has some controversy behind him though. So then now that adds to it. I'm just telling you, based off the look of the card, the art, I don't get too much of why they did it. But now you're going to tell me about the artist, and let's go into that.
He is a white nationalist. If you want to look him up or whatever, a lot of his other art, I did take a look just to get the context, and he's got
his name's
blood and soil, Hitler face. It's very, very, very Nazi-ish.
His name's Harold McNeil. If you can't see it in the stream, I'm going to post it in the chat right now.
Apparently, he's an infamous weird MTG artist.
Yeah, which they had a lot of that going on back then though. There was a lot of eclectic. There was Artist House, how they have streamer houses now and TikTok houses in LA that they all pitch in and buy a really fancy house.
Yeah.
They used to have artist houses for MTG, and they would pitch in Magic would provide them I think with it, or they would pitch in and throw in, and whenever they got something commissioned they all throw in the rent. I don't know how it worked, but there was artists that were all pretty close to each other back then, And there was also artists they were commissioning. As far as I know, I'm just telling you what I heard, that there was these artist groups. Anyway, so tell us more about Harold McNeil.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I don't think we should put his art up there. Don't give him a platform.
Nothing that's not MTG related.
Yeah. So if you want to look up his art, there's some So the whole context is he made these guys that look like it's KKK, and he is himself very suspect.
This is cleanse, right? Oh, that's cleansing.
Yeah, cleanse. I don't think the art is as much of a problem because it's pretty similar. But cleanse itself.
Is this the art? This is cleansing Nova. Where is just cleanse?
Bro, they took it off. They killed it.
They didn't. We just found the fucking Ku Klux Klan one.
Yeah.
It's on here. What set was it from?
Oh. Was it Prophecies?
I think that one was Prophecy. No. That's Seal of Cleansing.
Just do cleanse and MTG because the art itself isn't really the problem. So basically,
it's the word.
It's like just the concept.
Well, no, it's not. The concept isn't.
The word cleanse
here it
itself.
This is the card art. No, this is cleansing. Why aren't they showing it? Okay, well, anyway, we can't find that one, so maybe it did get taken off.
But so what it does is it destroys all black creatures.
Yeah.
And cleanse can be construed in a way that is a dog whistle, just as crusade could be.
Yeah, but that's not a reason. These are like still just common words. These are words that are in the vocabulary, that are in the dictionary. Like, so it's like a single word that's in the dictionary being used in a storytelling game. Like, it's not about fucking a racist. It's not about real life. This is about fantasy. Like, this is there can be racists in a fantasy game. That's what I want to get at the most. This is like the thing that irks me the most. Like, you name the guy Jihad. That's fucked up. I get that. You know, because he's an Indian character. That's fucked up, and I get why you banned that card. Invoke Prejudice, a card that is representative of a characteristic of a person, right? Or an adjective of something that somebody might do. That's what the character in the game is doing. How the game works is that it's implying the characters are doing these things. So it's a story kind of telling game that I don't think there should be a problem with the card Invoke Prejudice. The art maybe.
Yeah.
After putting it together with the artist.
Right.
Right, but like,
and also
but you can put a new art on there and put a new artist on it.
Yeah.
So like, that's fine. Like, don't ban the card from like tournaments. Let people have a proxy card. Send them a replacement with a new art on it. On the Invoke Prejudice. Jihad. You might have to change the homie's name altogether if it's worth keeping that card, but it's probably just not.
But also, just another side note on here. On the Gather Magic Card Encyclopedia, that it was Invoke Prejudice was issued as number 1488, which is like another dog whistle. So I don't understand how all of these white nationalist talking points kind of just like come together.
All right, so now explain this one to me. Stone throwing devils. If it's not in the flavor text, then I don't know where it's at. Because sometimes those with most sin can cast the first stone. What does this imply? What is the problem here?
I didn't.
This looks like something that Christianity would get banned, not some racists. You know.
Well, I don't know if maybe it's connotations to stoning or
just because riots are happening right now.
I don't know. I think there is some kind of historical context to this.
Yeah.
The phrase "stone throwing devils" could be some kind of historical context.
Right.
I haven't really gone into it.
And then we go to Pradesh gypsies. I get it.
The
gypsy.
art, whatever.
The word gypsy is a negative term, I guess, right now. It's derogatory, so that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to imprison, because I just want to kind of touch on all these because it's kind of weird. Like, Magic's always done this. Like, back in the first Ravnica, I think they stopped like putting asses and titties on girls.
Yeah.
Girl characters, like, you know, there still are girls that could have an ass and titty, or could have ass, or could have a titty here and there. You know what I mean? They still look like the perfect slender girl. It's not that you like. You know, they just look like a cute slender girl now. They don't look like Rogue from the X-Men comics. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what they're looking like. But it's still just going to this narrative of I'm trying to give people what they want. You know what I mean? Instead of like making things look realistic,
but
right?
yeah, but that's the whole thing. Is before that, when they showed the girl, see, look right there. That's the if you want to just show them real quick what happens when you try to look up that card. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. We can show them that.
Sensors, but all of these
Yeah, it
cards.
says this image has been removed because of racial depiction. So, I mean, that's cool to do that, but like, I get that, but that means the image is the problem here, huh?
But obviously, yeah. I mean, and what's crazy is all these cards are spiking in sales. I think Invoke Prejudice is like $1,000.
Well, that's because the stigma behind it's going to make that happen.
Yeah,
you can't like add it. Oh, racist just went and bought it because he loves it now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's definitely a collectible thing. It's
So I can't get a bigger picture, but it's just like what in prison. It's just a black dude that's in prison. So that's the problem.
Yeah, I guess so. And he's got some weird fucking like mask on. I don't know. If it's
Yeah,
like some
and he's
kind of
being
connotation
electrocuted.
to like slavery or something.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get that card.
Yeah.
And it's not like a card that sees play. But like Invoke Prejudice is a card that sees play in Commander. Like that's a heavy card. Like it's actually worth a lot of money too. This is Legends. That's the Legends expansion.
I'm glad it's banned because fuck.
I mean, you just control. I mean, that's not the point though. Like just in fairness, like like these are the cards that got banned.
No, I mean obviously I'm glad it got. I don't know. I didn't like that either. With the whole context in it, I'm glad that they did what they did.
Yeah.
They do another. If they decide to reprint it and not have it as really sketchy.
If they're like in prison and it's just like a regular character that they're just taking to prison, you know what I mean? Like, and they put a new art on it, and like people can send in their old ones for it or something, or even just like.
No way. That's gonna be way more.
Well, they used to do that.
Yeah.
And they would revise cards like that. So if they want to do that kind of thing, that's a good faith effort, and like keep the cards. Don't ruin our decks, you know what I mean? Like, and I know that's kind of like a cocky thing. Oh, well, these are racist. It's kind of not, it's like a borderline. Like some of these were racist, like Jihad, in prison seemed kind of fucked up, but it's like in context, like, is it because it's a black character that's imprisoned in the photo? You know what I mean? Like, because like Wizards has actually always incorporated black characters into its game. It didn't have to be told. It didn't wait for like something to happen for this to be fixed. Like they've always been ahead of it.
When you look at like Teferi,
like beyond the Christianity thing, like they've always been ahead. Yeah, like Teferi's one of the most powerful characters in the game, and he's black. He's an African American character, or not African American, but dark skinned character. Black. Whatever you want to call it. There's no Africa in the fantasy world, and these are like where a lot of lines are drawn. So like, but this is a fantasy. So like, what levels do you hold true to this? Like, how much can you incorporate to you, and how much can you relate to it? You can't treat these things as real life. If they did like a Nazi, a similar thing to a Nazi, where like they built like the next series was about how this group created a Nazi organization that tried to take over the world. How much can they put in that game now into the game without it being wrong or hateful?
Well, I think you could just do something else.
But these are stories that you might. No, I'm saying these are stories that you might want to tell, though. You know what I mean? And like, and you might want to describe a card as like racist attack. I'm just saying, but like, can you be held accountable for that? Because it's like what your character and your story is doing, and this is like where comedy comes in. Like comedians are always talking about. We can't even do as much as we used to without getting persecuted. And we don't want cell phones at our shows. We don't want people recording this and showing people it because we tell jokes that are just like funny. It's just like there's levels of comedy that if you can't understand it to where you're criticizing it on a way that you think I shouldn't be saying something, but it's funny. It's like because I would say that to everybody. I would say that with everybody. I would try to make any of my friends laugh with that. It's not just because I'm in a room full of white people doing comedy that I'm doing this joke, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they already know how to play the room, so they're not doing that joke, But at the same time, they're not just going to be like hold back on that joke whenever they're like around a Hispanic audience, like when they do a Hispanic joke, you know what I mean? They're still going to do it because they know that it's funny for them too, because it's something that just is a something you notice, something you see, something you're watching,
But it also is a double-edged sword because you get controversy from that. You're gonna blow up, good or bad. You're gonna be in the news. You're gonna have a lot.
And that's the problem nowadays. Everybody's scared to get put on blast, to be scared to put on.
Some people use that to their advantage.
And well, there was a thing Juiceful was telling me about earlier. We can bring up about there right now. There's groups of people doxing racist kids.
Mm. Yeah.
So they're doxing kids that are like. There's apparently an 8-year-old, he said, that was doxed for saying racist things on Xbox. Now, I don't agree with like doxing a child, you know.
Yeah.
But I also don't think somebody's gonna go beat up an 8-year-old.
Right.
But they might go beat up their dad.
Yeah.
Which is where it probably stems from.
I heard about that.
And maybe he deserves to get beat up, the dad.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll teach the kid a lesson before he grows up and grows into it.
I don't know where I draw the line on that, but like kids that are in
it's a hard topic.
I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of screenshots. I've looked at a bunch of stuff on social media, and like, you know, there are people in college that are doing this stuff. Now they get their scholarship, or not their scholarship, but you know, they get kicked out. And same thing sometimes with high school too.
1 second. Your text isn't duplicating. Go ahead.
But like, you know, at that point, I feel like they are old enough to formulate that decision that, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know to not be racist,
that's what you get.
You're gonna learn a lesson,
as the Joker
said.
said.
And the racists haven't been being hit with their karma for a long time, so it might be a little bit worse than it's been. But I can't empathize too much with them.
No, but an 8-year-old,
I do empathize
exactly
with.
Where I draw that
well, I empathize with violence against them. You know, like, I hit them where they're hitting you. Hit them with mental violence, psychological violence, because that's what they're hitting you with. You know. Yeah. I don't really agree with physical violence because of it.
I mean, a lot of times it's kids on Xbox. They're being edgy. They shouldn't say it. I know when I played Xbox online, I heard that shit all the time.
Yeah, and I was never that kid.
No.
I couldn't do that, bro. That's like fucked up. I'm not going to be, especially if you think somebody is black or something. You're going to say that to them, like the N-word, or call them you know,
whatever,
any derogatory term that would refer to them, you know. But like, what would make you want to make somebody feel down about you losing? Like, it's just a game, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, they probably play way more than you if they beat you. And second of all, if you're gonna be the kid that says shit like that to them, you probably deserve it.
And in a lot of cases, it wasn't even the point. It was just like a dude's talking. They're like, "Oh, shut up, blah, blah, blah."
And they're just calling. Yeah, a lot of times it's just because they're just trying to fucking get some attention.
Yeah, and
their parents are letting them play video games all day, and they're not getting any attention, and they need it from people online. They're not getting it there, so they're gonna start doing erratic shit, like calling you racial shit. Maybe you can find somebody that's on your side, or if not, you're at least gonna have somebody engaging with you.
Exactly. And the fact that they're online, like, you don't know where they are, you don't know who they are, so they can get away with that. That's their little rebellion.
And yeah, they are still kids. I don't agree with them being doxxed. I don't agree with them being hurt or injured because of it. I do think that they need to learn a lesson, so they shouldn't be coddled.
Yeah.
So I can't like give too much empathy, is all I'm saying. But beyond that, there should be laws in place to protect people from being doxxed. Kids at least, especially, but like people from being doxxed to an extent. Like, depending on what it's for. If you're doxing somebody, like if you're doxing somebody at all, it's because you want them to be physically harmed. So there should be laws against doxing people.
Well,
no, I don't think someone should be doxed.
Not always though.
Like calling their job and doing that's different.
Yeah,
like getting them fired is different. Get them fired from their job for being racist. Hurt them financially. Hit them where you can do it, where they can fix themselves from it and learn from it, instead of like trying to get them killed or getting them beat up and physically harmed and have to deal with it the rest of their life, because they might be able to fix it and become an ally with you on your mission later of trying to fix things too whenever they finally come to, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's things that, you know, they really gotta work through.
I mean, these are things that are important to everyone. I think is equality. Even if you're racist, I think people that are racist still think they want equality, and they don't know what that is yet. And it just has to be shown to them. I think that's a lot of the problem right now with miscommunications, and like equality needs to be shown to people what it really is, what it really means, because like all the privilege has clouded a lot of the white people and beyond white people, like other people that have money. It's not just money. It's beyond that. People that have been spoiled their whole life. There's poor people that have been spoiled their whole life that also think that this and that is this and that way. I'm not going to get into specifics on that. It's not the point. But like at the end of the day, try to find what's real. Try to do what's real. Try to be who's real. Question everything. Question everything. Look into everything. Find out your own information. Snopes.com is a good one. If you want to fact check something, Snopes.com. If you want to see if something the news said was right because it sounded kind of wild, look at the enemy news. If you're looking at NBC, go to Fox and see what they said about the same thing.
Yeah.
Or if they're not talking about it. And then you can find some pieces and put them together. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and like personally what my process is, I will also see like who's gaining from that.
Yeah,
what are they gaining?
Where's the money?
And yeah,
always
follow
watch
the money.
We'll follow the money, man. Anyway, this has been the Factual Practical Podcast. Before we go, we would like to say one thing to you guys. Besides the fact that we love you, we appreciate you guys for watching. We will be back next week, probably on Sunday again. This one came a little late in the day, but it is what it is. We're trying to work around both of our schedules, but we got to say our disclaimer one more time.
Oh, do we want to shout out the podcast, though?
Oh,
Before
yeah.
we do that?
We'll shout out some podcasts. We'll do our disclaimer, and then we'll shout out the podcast.
Okay. So, again, we are not saying we know the facts. We are on a journey to find the facts and discuss what information is available to deduce reality from a system design so that we are misinformed. We do not know the facts and never will, but we will try to ascertain them to the best of our ability.
All right, so before we go, we want to shout out some podcasts that we like to listen to. If you guys like podcasts, if you want to go on the political side of things, Charlie has a few that are all on Spotify. Go ahead and go through those.
Right, and some of them are more lighthearted than others. Chapo Trap House, I don't know if you guys have heard of that. They're pretty big.
They like to talk about the Epstein stuff, right?
Well, they are more into politics.
Yeah. There is other stuff though.
Yeah.
But they talk about mostly politics.
It's a group of people. Some are gamers. Some they do reviews and stuff too. True Anon is the one that
super
really,
political.
It's like really into Epstein.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one that goes into that, and it is political.
And then Citations Needed is
basically
policing kind of police watching over things that are happening and kind of explaining them.
Yeah, it's explaining things like the first episode I saw was the first episode I listened to was about like charter schools and stuff and how that.
So different political topics, but more finite, talking about small things and things here.
Yeah, it sheds information on things that we might in the big media might be misconstrued in a way where we.
Yeah. So things like that, though, we got it. It's trying to police things, like tell you about what's wrong and right, what's wrong and right about things that they're talking about.
Yeah,
trying
the media might
pretty much what we're doing, trying to decipher and unblur the lines. Also, so those are all on Spotify. Also on Spotify, there's Joe Rogan, who's an awesome podcast. He talks to all kinds of people, left and right wing people. That's why I like to watch him, because he'll ask anybody the hard questions, no matter what he agrees with. He wants to still know questions, and it's a good mindset to get into, the kind of style that he goes with. And again on Spotify is Joe Budden. And he's also on YouTube. Joe Rogan's leaving YouTube, but he was on YouTube. You can probably still find a lot of his stuff on YouTube. Joe Budden for a lot of music stuff. If you like hip hop music and stuff, that's a good source to see what's going on in hip hop. Outside of that, Mike Tyson's podcast is amazing for
it's fun.
Just everything. It's super fun. It's pretty much another celebrity interviewing Mike Tyson every episode, but it's so good to see how much impact he's had on the world, and then beyond that, like
his growth.
His growth and his mindset is so powerful, and it's a good way to live, and it's a good person to look up to. And if you want something really fun, Steve-O's podcast, also on YouTube. The links for Steve-O and Mike Tyson's podcast are both in the description below. Steve-O's fucking podcast is amazing. It's super fun. He has whoever he wants on there, and he tells stories that he probably shouldn't be telling. And it's almost like it's the guest interviewing Steve-O on every episode, but Steve-O is such an interesting person that it's worth watching. Guys, we'll be back every week, at least once a week, but we're going to try to do an extra episode this week about the PlayStation games coming up and the release of the PS5. The whole podcast will probably be about video games. Maybe we'll throw some other video game stuff in there. But we will definitely be back next Sunday with some more current events, things that are happening from now until then and in between, and what we want to talk about. We'll be talking about video games and everything else that's happening in the world. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
I'm Jump on Turtles.
I'm Charlie.
And this is the Factual and Practical podcast, and we love you guys.
Yep, stay safe.